Yes, I'm still waiting to find out how I'm supposed to take care of this pretrial if I'm unable to wear a mask and I'm unable to call you because I am homeless with no phone. Unless you guys can pay to get me a phone so I can call you. I'm medically unable to, but if you are willing to force a mask onto me and take full legal responsibility for all actions taken once I black out, you're more than willing to come out and put a mask on me and I'll wear it. But simply putting one on me not only will violate ADA law, but it'll also be assault and battery. Because I've already stated I'm medically exempt from wearing it and I do not wish to. So how do I go about taking care of this bogus citation? Especially since I have simple information I could give you that would take less than the time I've been in here. Ay, ay, ay. So they have the laws posted right here. And they're in direct violation of those, among others. And they won't try to explain to me how I can go about taking care of this since I have no phone service and I can't wear a mask. You have no other alternatives to aid the people who are disabled and unable to wear a mask for a medical reason. See, and I was even willing to stand at this end of this big old long bench with her all the way by the door, and she was acting scared like I was trying to attack her or some bull like that. And that's ridiculous when I'm just simply standing here. She didn't start acting like that until I started quoting the laws and the information I needed to for her to know to throw this case out. So, let's see. This is human resources. Let's see if I can go in here and make a complaint. Affirmative action. Hello. I'm trying to do a court date for my pretrial. I'm staying as far as I am because I'm fully unable to wear a mask. Okay. I'm willing to explain why.
Okay, so
and that's because
you're actually in the wrong building.
Well, I also know that with them being employed in this building, I can also file that here at Human Resources, and you guys are required to forward it on.
Okay, what is this for?
I am attempting to go to supposed to be a phone meeting, which, yes, I have a phone, but I don't have service.
Okay.
I'm documenting because I knew something like this was going to happen. The citations I'm supposed to be at pretrial at 2 o'clock for are completely bogus.
Okay.
And I have them telling me that I can't attend this pretrial because I can't wear a mask medically.
Okay.
And because I don't have a phone, and they're not giving me any options on how to remedy this. I've even, you know, that big old giant bench right here? I stood on this side of that bench while they were all the way by their door, and I told them I'm more than willing to stay this far away from you since I can't wear a mask. That's more than double social distance.
Okay.
And she immediately started acting like I was trying to rush her or something while I'm just leaning up against the bench.
I guess I'm a little confused why you're here in this office regarding that.
Because you guys are human resources, and I knew they were calling PD to try and force me out a public building for not breaking a law.
I don't think that's what we're going to do today, but we can talk about it. That's
Well,
not our goal. That's not our problem.
All I'm trying to do, and it's all on recording, is peacefully come for my pretrial court date for a citation, well, 2 citations I received from you guys
So let me,
that are bogus.
I can definitely help you with that, okay?
And she's telling me that me being homeless with no phone to call,
Okay.
that somehow the courts gave her a phone number that I never gave.
Really?
I even told them I have to figure out a phone number to call from.
Okay.
And they gave her some number to call, which I don't have any service.
Gotcha.
And I informed her of that. I informed her,
Hey,
if she's willing to
what's
put
your
a
name
mask
again?
on me,
What's your name?
at this time with you guys,
Yeah.
I wish to remain anonymous.
Okay.
I'm going to assert my 5th Amendment, my 4th Amendment.
That's a little odd, but we're okay. Can we go here and talk? This is the office.
Well, I just want to finish my report for them to file
I don't
with
think
the
they have
appropriate
one.
channels.
I don't think they have one.
Well, if they're human resources, they're supposed to handle any issues with human resources, with
Correct.
the personnel.
I don't know if that's how that
Who were
works.
you talking to?
City attorney. She's the one that came out. I didn't catch a name. She didn't give me a name yet.
No? Okay.
It was a lady
Going over and talking.
in
that'd be great, thanks.
I think a pale, like lighter dress.
What's the issue that you're trying to resolve today?
I was issued 2 citations, one for operating without a license, one for operating motor vehicle without insurance,
Okay.
for a low-speed motor-assisted bicycle that, per federal law, is deemed a bicycle, does not require license, insurance, or registration. I've already brought this to the city attorney. I brought this to the judge when I went to court for it, where the police officer wasn't even there, which means the citation should have been thrown out right then and there. Not to mention the judge should have taken what I told him and looked into it before just pushing it off on jury trial.
Did you end up?
Well, I have no phone, so I showed up here. I'm unable to wear a mask. I'm more than willing, like I explained to everybody, to explain my medical exemption. If I wear a face mask or anything that is too tight around my throat or neck, this
Yeah,
is pushing it.
that's borderline. Okay.
But if I wear anything too tight or too close to my face or my neck,
Yeah.
I black out and I start swinging.
Well, I don't want that.
I don't either. And I've told them, if you guys are willing to put the mask on me yourselves and to take full legal responsibility for any actions caused by me blacking out thereafter,
Okay.
I'll be more than willing to wear it. And she immediately started backing into the office like I was trying to do something to her.
Okay, so,
And I mean, anyone that knows me knows I'm not violent. I try to be as decent as I can as long as I get that in return.
pretty sure I don't mean to cut you off, I just want to make sure he's aware of what's going on here. So what it is because you don't want to plead, or you want to
The
contest.
citations are bogus.
Okay, you want to contest the citation because you believe they're bogus. They said that they can't do anything today for the pretrial. You guys have to go to trial, which is where you could contest the tickets. The pretrial is just if you're willing to take like a plea deal or something, or just plead guilty on it.
Well, it's also for the city attorney, if she has evidence brought to her that it is a bogus charge, she is obligated to look at that information, and if it's true, throw the citations out, as happened with my last citation that I received from your department that was bogus.
She's saying that she has enough to go through with it being valid.
So a low-speed motor-assisted bicycle that's deemed federally as a bicycle that does not require license, registration, or insurance, you're
Actually,
saying
you do. I'm
is
pretty sure.
No,
I'm
but
pretty sure you
I've
do,
looked
'cause I
up
talked with
federal
you.
law.
Richard,
Hold on.
you also understand too that municipal law and
It doesn't
local
trump federal.
jurisdictions
If
can
it's
be
already
more-
been
they
ruled
can
on by
be-
federal,
They can be more restrictive than federal law.
Correct.
okay,
Right here.
if
So,
you think so. If it is
exempt
deemed
from
as a
registration-
moped,
Here's the thing. It can be exempt from registration. A motor bicycle or bicycle exempt from providing non-commercial except for license. Here, you want the statute? Want me to write it down for you?
Yeah.
Okay. This has come straight from our traffic bureau because remember I talked to you about it.
oh, I've already talked
we
with
were
state
on-
police. I've talked with multiple police,
I
and
think the issue at hand here, Richard, is that
what I'm operating is deemed a motor-assisted bicycle, not a moped. You guys can, no, you
more
can't.
restrictive than federal law.
Yeah, but also I have other information for the city attorney that proves you wrong on the requirement for license, registration, insurance in your personal capacity, absent
This would be the
operating for commerce. That is the only time that a license, registration, or insurance is required, and that has been taken to the federal Supreme Court, and they have already ruled that no city, state, or federal agency can require a license, registration, or insurance for somebody operating their personal property in their personal capacity unless they're operating for commerce, meaning they're being paid to operate.
So,
So, either way, the citations are bogus.
And that would be
And
something that
if
you've
this
gone to
law is
court?
trying to
What's
require
the-
a license or
how many is it
registration, it is in direct violation of state, federal ruling, and the Constitution, which, per the Supremacy Clause, makes this law, if you guys enforce it, a criminal act.
Which would be a case you would have to take up in federal court.
for sure. Correct. Not-
It'll be
not-
taken up in state and federal because then you guys are openly and willingly violating your oath of office. You are committing official misconduct, official oppression, prior restraint, and you're also committing conspiracy against rights and deprivation of rights. And for each count of conspiracy against rights is a minimum of 10 years federal prison.
hey, can we get like an address for you then, so
Here's the
they
thing,
can send
so-
you?
Let me
I'm
explain.
not going to give you guys an
Well,
address.
hear me out. They need to get. How can they get you information for your court proceedings? That's what they need to know. So
She should be able to print something out right now that has
says they gotta mail
my
it.
trial date on it.
they said they got to mail the information. Again, Richard, hear me out. I'm trying to help here. I just showed up. We all just showed up. Okay, we're just simply trying to help you out. Okay, because if you have a valid
So you guys
claim,
are trying to help me out by
I'm
trying to
get you-
enforce a law that
No, no,
is
no,
in
I'm trying to get you
violation
the
of the
information you
Constitution that you
so you
swore an
can
oath
come
to
to court.
uphold and defend.
I'm trying to get you the information.
Yes,
you need
and
so you can come to
she
court.
has that right in her office right now.
She's saying that they have to mail it to you. Okay, I don't know why.
Okay,
I'm
how
not
ask
the
her how
secretary.
long it'll take for them to get it. I will come back for it.
Okay.
I'll come back to get a court date. Simple as that.
Is there any way that we could get a phone number for you? Or an
I'm-
email address?
I have no phone number, no access to internet
So
easily
the
right now.
library does, if you'd like to use the library. So if you
And are they going to pull the same bull that she just did with the face mask requirement?
yeah,
Well,
they
one
might, I
one
don't
thing we
know.
also do have is we have public Wi-Fi access in most of the areas downtown here.
Yeah.
If you go to click on Wi-Fi, you click on Racine Public Wi-Fi, you agree to the terms, and now you're on Wi-Fi. You can use that at Monument Square, outside the police department, outside of City Hall.
And what exactly are those terms? You agree
You would
for the
have to
city
read it.
to have access to your information?
You would have to read those terms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go outside of a McDonald's, they offer free Wi-Fi. There's a lot of different places where you can access the internet for free.
Do you have an email address I could give them?
No, not at this time. Because if anything, I will be contacting an attorney and finding one that will take this pro bono because this is a massive lawsuit
That would
on top
honestly-
of the criminal charges, both state
So-
and federal.
Sure.
And I mean, by them calling you guys and involving you guys in it,
Yeah.
they're now making it so you guys are facing those same charges if you're complicit with this.
Right. I hear you.
And if you guys are going to try to enforce any law that requires license, registration, or insurance for an individual operating their personal property,
Right.
not for commerce, meaning they're not being paid to operate that vehicle,
Right.
you are then violating the Constitution that you swore an oath to uphold and
Okay.
defend,
Yeah.
and the laws of the land
So
put
I
forth
didn't
by
do
the
that.
federal government.
Richard, I didn't do that.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm
Right.
saying if you do enforce
Okay, well, I
those
didn't.
laws.
I haven't.
I'm not saying you are.
Oh.
That's why I said if you did.
So the reason that they can give it to him is because the like that decision on what day it's gonna be. And the judge is not here today. The judge is also not even at state. He's not even at the courthouse today.
Okay.
So that's why they can't just call over and have him give him a date, because he's not here, he's on vacation.
Well, that's
So
why I
when
asked
do we do that?
how long it would take, and I can come
So
back
it would-
after that
It's
time.
probably
would-
gonna be a couple weeks. The problem is if your hearing's in November, they obviously wanna give you enough time to gather whatever evidence or whatever, proof
Well, I
you
mean,
have.
they never gave me any
So-
information on the citations except for what the citations were.
had
Nothing
a
about
court date
when
on
they
it.
were.
Yeah, it should
I
be.
was never even asked at the scene for license, registration, insurance. They never asked any questions of anyone. I know multiple people on the block that came out that said the cops, literally, once I got in the ambulance,
Okay, so.
the other
and I
guy was
wasn't
never
there.
questioned
I
that
was never
caused
there
the
for that.
accident.
Okay. I wasn't-
Yet I'm the only one receiving citations because you guys know that I'm a civil rights activist.
I don't think
That
it's
right
anything to do
there
with
is in violation of ADA law and the USDA laws over
it.
there
Okay, and
on
you're
your
allowed
wall.
to argue that, but she's saying that.
Oh no, it's not an
the
argument. It's
citations are
literally the
valid.
letter of the law
She
that
says
you
the
guys are
citations
sworn
valid because you
to
don't have a
enforce.
license, which we can prove, and you
I'm
didn't
not
have-
required to have a license.
The statute that was
Per
presented to
the
you-
Constitution, federal
thing.
Supreme
Richard,
Court,
Richard.
and the law of the land, I'm not required to have a license,
So,
registration, or insurance.
that
And
is
per
for
the
you to
Supremacy
argue in
Clause,
court.
you can't enforce any law that would require it.
So,
Be a good time.
what can we do, what information can we gather?
Find
for them
out
to contact
when I
you?
can come back to know
Couple
when
weeks.
my court date is.
Couple weeks,
And what if my court date ends up popping up before then?
It won't be.
it won't be.
It'll
It's
be
gonna
at least a
November.
month out.
So as long
Well,
as you come before
literally,
November
my
1st,
pretrial was less than a week after my initial hearing,
Tell you
where
what,
the cop never showed up
As
and the
long as-
citation should have been thrown out anyway.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
why don't we agree on a date that you choose? This information will be relayed to the judge to say, hey, you know what?
Well, you guys are saying
Okay, hold on.
2 weeks from
But
today.
We're asking you for a date, okay? So let's.
You guys are saying 2 days
You wanna do
from
2 weeks
today,
from today?
correct?
Let's do a week from today.
Okay, I'll come
That
back
way, they have enough
every
time-
Monday until I get the
Well,
information.
today is what, Monday?
Yeah, every Monday till I get the information. I'll give you a week at a time
Okay, so the
Or you
11th,
can contact the city attorney by phone if you like.
if I can get access to a phone.
Okay,
Richard,
okay.
does the 11th work? That'd be next Monday.
Yeah, I'll come by the
Alright, we'll
11th,
let
check
you know.
then.
What
If they
time?
don't have it, I'll come by the
Okay,
next
What time do you
Monday.
think you can
What
go?
time is
I'll let
work
them
for
know.
you?
I don't know. I don't know
Morning
what's
or-
gonna come up by
Morning or
Monday.
afternoon?
It depends on what comes up next
Why don't
Monday.
we say like noon? Well, no, they're on lunch.
That's, yeah. that's-
11 o'clock in the morning.
I can try, but
Okay.
I mean, all I gotta do is come hit that buzzer, tell them I'm here for my court date, and
Let's say
they just gotta have it
let's
at the
say
front desk.
Monday at 11 o'clock, it'll be ready for you on an envelope, and if they need more time, then we'll set another schedule for the following Monday. And we make sure that the judge schedules your court date with enough time out in advance, that way you don't have like a week out, you have like a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay,
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
cool. Pretty good. Thanks, I appreciate it.
You guys know I'm no harm to you.
No, man.
I always wait for the police to leave before I leave.
All right. Gotcha.
That's part of my code, and I'm not doing nothing wrong, so I can't be forced out. So,
Thank you, guys.
but I would also like you guys to look into the Supremacy Clause and the right to travel. Because the right to travel has been ruled on numerous times by both local and federal Supreme Courts that law enforcement cannot restrict or require fees for someone to travel freely with their own property.
Is that
If
like-
they are operating for commerce.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Hmm.
So like, does that mean like a motor vehicle as well?
Yeah. The guy that I have the video of that won his case on
Yeah.
both the
Was driving
local
a-
and
driving
federal
a
level was driving a
non-registered-
van
Was it registered?
that
or-
only had for a license plate the "Do Not Tread on Me" flag with the snake coiled up.
Yep, yep.
That's it.
Oh, it was not. like
That's
a
what he
state
was stopped
registration
for.
plate?
Is because he did not have a state registered license plate.
Gotcha.
They then hit him for no license, registration, or insurance.